If you grew up playing video games, you probably remember the feeling of holding a fresh game box in your hands. You paid your hard-earned cash, unwrapped that tight plastic seal, opened the case, smelled that iconic fresh plastic smell, and slid the disc into your console. That game was yours. You owned it. You could display it on your shelf, lend it to a friend for the weekend, trade it in for cash at GameStop, or pull it out 20 years later and play it on a rainy afternoon. Well, hold on to your nostalgia, because that era is officially over. Sony recently made a bombshell announcement that shocked the entire gaming industry. Starting in January 2028, PlayStation is ending physical disc production for all new games. That is right. No more discs, no more steelbooks on your shelf. Moving forward, every new game will either be a digital download on the PlayStation Store or a physical plastic box at the store containing nothing more than a piece of paper with a download code inside. Think about the irony here for a second. Back in 2013 at E3, Sony won over an entire generation of gamers by releasing a hilarious parody video mocking Microsoft. They literally showed two guys handing a physical game disc to each other with a caption that said, "This is how you share your games on PS4. The crowd went wild. Sony stood as the champion of gamer rights and physical ownership. Fast forward 13 years, and Sony is the very company leading the charge to bury the physical disc forever. Now, Sony claims this decision is just a response to shifting consumer trends. And to be fair, digital convenience is undeniable. Clicking a button and playing a game instantly without leaving your couch feels great. But convenience comes with a hidden tax. A tax that corporations hope you will never calculate until it is too late. Because when physical discs disappear, something massive dies along with them. The used game market? Gone. The ability to borrow a game from your friend? Gone. Retail sales competition between stores like Walmart or local game shops? Completely dead. When digital is the only option, platform holders get a 100% monopoly over what you play, how much it costs, and, most importantly, how long you are allowed to keep it. Which brings us to the uncomfortable truth that big tech companies don't want you to think about. When you click buy on a digital storefront today, you aren't actually buying a game. You are renting a temporary license. And as one gamer recently found out the hard way in a massive corporate legal battle, that license can be revoked whenever a company feels like it. Let's get one thing clear right off the bat. When you click that shiny digital buy button on PlayStation, Xbox, or Steam, you aren't buying anymore. You are renting. That isn't an exaggeration. It's explicitly buried deep inside the thousands of words of terms of service that none of us ever read. When you purchase a digital game, movie, or song, you do not own the software. You are paying for a non-transferable, revocable license to access that file for as long as the server host decides to let you. If the server shuts down, you lose access. If the publisher loses the music license, the game disappears. And if your account gets flagged, suspended, or hacked, everything you paid for can vanish in an instant. If you think that's just a theoretical worst-case scenario, let me tell you about a wild case that happened in Brazil. A gamer who goes by Ordo Liberal on Reddit had his Microsoft account compromised by a hacker. Mind you, he even had two-factor authentication enabled. The hacker broke in, changed the security details, and Microsoft's automated systems flagged the suspicious activity. So, what did Microsoft do? Did they verify his ID and help him recover his account? Of course not. They permanently suspended the entire account. And when he reached out to Microsoft support begging for help, the official response he got was basically, "Sorry, your account is unrecoverable. Your best option is to just make a new account and rebuy all your games." Read that again. Rebuy all your games. And this didn't just affect his Xbox games. Because big tech companies link everything to one central ecosystem, losing his Microsoft account meant he lost his Xbox library, his Windows software licenses, his Office 365, and all his personal files stored on OneDrive. Years of digital purchases and personal data, poof, gone overnight. Now, most people would give up and cry, but this guy lived in Brazil, where consumer protection laws are surprisingly tough. He took Microsoft to a small claims consumer court, and you won't believe how Microsoft responded. To defend themselves against one single gamer over a suspended account, Microsoft brought a legal team of 12 lawyers to court. 12! They fought tooth and nail to maintain the idea that they owe users nothing once an account is locked.
But the judge wasn't having it. The court ruled against Microsoft, stating that it was blatantly obvious he was the true owner of the account. The judge gave Microsoft 15 days to fully restore his account, bring back every single digital game and file, or pay $400 in emotional damages. Think about what this proves. Microsoft could have restored his account in 5 minutes through customer support. The technical ability to give him his games back was always there. But corporate policy preferred telling him to buy everything a second time, betting that he wouldn't sue. And that is the core danger of an all-digital future. When you aren't allowed to hold the physical product in your hands, your entire gaming library isn't a collection. It's a permission slip that can be revoked at any moment. Now, if you ask a massive gaming corporation why they are ditching physical discs, they'll give you a super polite PR answer. We're giving consumers what they want. Digital is faster, cleaner, and more eco-friendly. Yeah, right. Let's talk about the real reasons big tech wants physical media dead. Because it isn't about convenience for you. It's about total control over your wallet. Reason number 1, killing the used game market. Think about how many games you bought secondhand growing up. You went to a local shop, picked up a pre-owned copy for $20, played it, and maybe traded it back in towards your next game. Game publishers hated that. They made $0 from used game sales. When you buy a digital game, that entire secondary ecosystem vanishes. You can't sell your digital download, you can't trade it, you can't even lend it to your brother down the hall without handing him your entire account credentials. By eliminating physical discs, companies force 100% of transactions to go directly through their official digital storefronts. Which brings us to reason number 2, total pricing monopoly. In a physical world, stores have to compete. Walmart, Target, Amazon, and local game shops lower prices to clear out shelf space. If a game isn't selling, retail stores discount it quickly to get rid of inventory. But digital bits on a server don't take up physical shelf space. Without retail competition, platform holders control pricing completely. That's why a 5-year-old digital game on PlayStation Store or Xbox Live can still sit at its full $60 or $70 launch price, while a physical copy sits in a bargain bin down the street for $15. Unless there is an official seasonal sale, you pay whatever price the platform dictates, period. And finally, reason number 3, shifting costs to the consumer. Printing game discs, manufacturing plastic cases, and shipping trucks across the world costs real money. By switching to digital only, corporations cut manufacturing and logistics expenses down to practically zero, while keeping game prices higher than ever at $70. And who pays for the digital storage? You do. Instead of popping in a disc, you now have to buy multi-$100 external SSDs and pay monthly internet bills with data caps just to download massive 150-gigabyte day-one updates. They shifted the entire burden of storage directly onto your shoulders. If you think this digital ownership scam is only happening to video games, brace yourself. Because this mindset is infecting every single industry on planet Earth.
Take movies and TV shows, for example. Sony recently made headlines when they sent emails to PlayStation users informing them that hundreds of TV shows and movies they had already purchased, including hit films like Terminator 2 and Hot Fuzz, were going to be permanently deleted from their digital libraries. And the best part? No refunds, no store credit, just an email saying, "Our licensing deal ended, so thanks for your money, but your movie is gone now. Bye." Imagine buying a DVD 10 years ago, and 10 years later, a guy from the movie studio breaks into your living room, steals the disc off your shelf, and says, "You can't watch it anymore because their distribution contract expired." That sounds insane, right? But digitally, that is 100% legal. And it isn't stopping at software or digital media, it is bleeding straight into physical hardware. BMW made waves by attempting to put basic car features behind monthly microtransactions. Want heated seats in the car you just bought for $50,000? That'll be an extra $18 a month, please. Printers now use microchips to block third-party ink cartridges, forcing you into monthly ink subscription plans. If you cancel your subscription, your printer literally refuses to print, even if the cartridge inside is completely full of ink. We are rapidly heading toward a world governed by that famous, infamous quote, "You will own nothing and you will be happy." Except nobody is happy. Corporations have realized that selling you a product once for $50 isn't nearly as profitable as renting it to you for $10 a month forever. When you don't own your games, your movies, or your hardware, you are entirely at the mercy of whatever policy, price increase, or license revocation a CEO decides to sign off on next. So, with physical media dying and digital rights shrinking every day, is there any hope left for the average consumer? Or are we completely doomed to rent everything forever? Thankfully, gamers and consumer rights groups are starting to fight back. First, there is a massive push for transparent digital labeling. Countries around the world are drafting consumer protection laws that force storefronts to stop using misleading words like buy or purchase. If you are only getting a license, the button must legally say rent license. It sounds small, but forcing corporations to be honest about what they are selling changes how people spend their money. Second, platforms like GOG, Good Old Games, are proving that digital doesn't have to mean anti-consumer. Every single game on GOG is completely DRM free. When you buy a game there, you can download offline installers directly to your hard drive. If GOG went out of business tomorrow, your games would still work on your PC forever. And third, archiving and preservation. Preservationists, retro collectors, and community programmers are working around the clock to back up physical media, emulate dead servers, and save video game history before corporate boardrooms wipe it clean. At the end of the day, voted choices with our wallets matter. Support DRM-free storefronts, buy physical media whenever it's still available, and back up your digital files whenever you can. Because if we don't fight for ownership today, tomorrow, we won't even own the hard drives we save our memories on. What do you think about Sony ending physical discs? Are you strictly digital now, or are you holding onto your physical collection for dear life? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this deep dive valuable, hit that like button, subscribe for more breakdowns, and I will see you in the next one.